You have to choose action even when you don't want to choose to act, because it is up to you. Today on Growing Hope, we're talking about the 5 points for learning the when of your place and purpose and how to make the choice for action no matter what feelings might be in the way.
It's time for Growing Hope, the show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, live from a little cabin in the woods, nestled along Big Spring Creek, it's your host, Kathryn Lang.
Hello and welcome to today's Growing Hope, where we are investing a few moments to create a foundation of hope for living bold in purpose and on purpose. I am Kathryn Lang, your resident Hope Smith, and your purveyor of snarky rainbows, just sharing a little twisted encouragement to make you smile, because making you smile makes me smile, and it spreads from there. We have to keep smiling because we need that extra boost on those days when we just don't want to. We don't want to get up, don't want to go to work, we don't want to people, we don't want to do what we know we have to do. We definitely don't want to make the donuts. Every time I run into the attitude of don't want to, I always flash back to the Dunkin' Donuts commercial with the baker whining, "I don't want to make the donuts. We've got to make the donuts." If you haven't seen it, you need to go find it. Just look on YouTube. If you've never found yourself in that place of don't want to, even in the smallest of ways, well, you are definitely blessed beyond my understanding, because I have been there more times than I like to count. So I hope you're going to take a few moments and share with me your secret for not getting to that place. I'm a positive, focused person most days, but there are those days when I just don't want to. Most of the time, I give myself a few moments to wallow in that don't want to's. I go through the litany of reasons that piled up to create the don't want to's. I even mull over what would happen if I let my don't want to's win. And then I get up and I get going, because ultimately I have embraced the truth that if I want to get there, then I have to take the action. It is up to you to live your life. It is up to you to get done what needs to get done. It's up to you to move if you're ever going to reach your desired destination. The don't want to's will still show up now and then. Sometimes they're going to hang around when you aren't feeling well. Sometimes they're going to slide in with the sound of rain on a cold winter day. And sometimes they trumpet their way in with the inactions or the not the way I wanted them done of others. Especially your family when they're home for the holiday breaks. No matter how they get there, the don't want to's don't have to win. Get up, go make the donuts. Choose action even when the don't want to's tell you otherwise. It's not always easy to keep going when you aren't seeing the results. If you've ever planted a seed, you know it can be frustrating to watch and to wait. If you think water takes longer to boil because you're watching it, then try watching the dirt when you've just planted your seed. God's vision for our lives is both faster than what we see and also slower than we can even begin to understand. And it's at the same time. He sees it all, the past, the present, and the future, and he sees it all at once. God knows the beginning, and God knows the end, and God knows all of the choices that we're going to make in between. The ability to go, to do what we need to do, comes when we recognize that you don't have to know it all to make a move today. You position yourself to take the leap into your place and purpose when you make the choice to choose action. It's just about choosing action. So point 1 is accept the past. Learn from where you've been, but refuse to hold on to it or to let it hold on to you. What was is done, and it shouldn't be allowed to dictate what is now. I messed up. And I messed up in a glorious fashion. If only I had taken the time to read the fine print or to think things through a little more carefully instead of getting caught up in the feelings or caught up in what others were telling me to do, or caught up in the it's always been done this way kind of mentality around me. But I didn't, and I messed up. And we're paying for it, quite literally. We're paying for it in our journey today for what I messed up in before. The mistake tries to beat me up sometimes. Sometimes it's a daily beat up. And it's easy because I have a constant reminder in the check that I have to write each month. But I make the intentional choice to learn from the mistake. And that takes away its power to beat me up. When you learn from what you did, then you take away the power for a choice from a choice that was already done. Okay, point 2, deal with today. If you don't start now, then you'll never start. Now is what you have to use. It's all that you have to use. I always wanted a large flower garden. I dreamed of what it would be like, especially when we moved out to the property where we are. My grandfather always had an amazing flower garden, and I wanted to be like him. And as we cleared the first corner of our land, I could see the potential. I could see where the different flowers would be able to bloom. And then when we put our house in, I started making sketches, and I made plans. When I had enough money, or when I had the right tools, or when I had the time, then I'd have my garden. But one day I just started. I started with what I had. I started transplanting plants I found around the property. I started raising seedlings because seeds are not that expensive. You just have to have a lot of patience. Then I joined a gardening group and I started trading. The native plants that we had where we were desirable to other people, and I was able to trade them for some of the flowering perennials that I wanted so much. But until I made the choice to start now, it never got done. And once I made that first step into the now, then the momentum grew from there. If you don't start now, then you're never going to start. Point 3. Prepare for tomorrow. Put a plan into place so that you can be ready to make the most of tomorrow. The more you prepare for tomorrow, the more you can take advantage of your now when your tomorrow becomes your now. And it always does. The best now moments for me happened because I had a plan from tomorrow. I made a plan that would be ready to take place in tomorrow when tomorrow was now. Whew. The more you when I would take a few moments to map out all the things I wanted to get done and accomplish when the new day arrived, then I was prepared to hit the ground running. I was prepared to get up and get going. So I would get up, I'd follow my morning routine, and then I could go. I could do all that I had planned with a focus and with purposeful actions. It makes a huge difference in what you're able to accomplish in your now when you're prepared. So prepare for your tomorrow, which becomes your now. Point 4. Do all that you can do. All you can do is all that you can do. But you can do so much more than you give yourself credit for doing. I found myself frustrated at all the things I needed to do and the pile of stuff left at the end of the day that just didn't get done. I knew I had to find a way to get rid of some of the things that were crowding my to-do list. I mean, I had to get it all done. And then I started sharing with someone about how my life used to be when I had small children, when I didn't expect others to do part of my to-do list, and I just got it done. And that's when I was reminded that I could do so much more than I was doing. I had limited myself, and therefore I was limited in what I could accomplish. As soon as I shifted my mindset back to where I could do, then I found ways of getting it done. Dare to do more. Point 5. Know the limits of your all. You are made for so much more than you can see before you. You are designed to thrive and to launch into your extraordinary. You have limits, but those limits are more amazing than you're currently living. When you live in your unique design, then you begin to fulfill your limits. Think of your limits like the seashore. What lies within the shoreline is vast. and it's packed full of amazing life, incredible blessings, and unbelievable power. That is you. Now, I was born in a small town, in a rural community, but I had dreams of impacting the world. I had dreams of doing so much. But because of where I lived, I was told that those dreams could never be fulfilled. It would take amazing luck or incredible chance to make it so. And then the internet was born. Little did those naysayers realize that the reaches from a small town would soon make it literally around the world. Now, I still doubted, and it took years of little bits and little encounters before I began to dare to believe. But when I started believing, then my limits weren't as small as I had once been convinced they were. You have a unique place and purpose. The more you understand your uniquenesses, the stronger you're going to be for stepping out into your place and purpose. You have to define your why and what and how, and then discover the when of your place and purpose. The when is now, ultimately, but stepping into your now is not always easy. They say the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago, and the second best time is now. And now is what you have to work with, which is why now is when you need to be investing in your heart seed. Make the leap into your possibility living. Accept the past, deal with today, prepare for tomorrow, do all you can do, and know the limits of you. You may not know it all, but you know enough to take a step, and each step you take brings you one step closer to where you need to be. The more you understand, the better you're going to be positioned to make a leap into your unique design. You will have to choose to make the leap, and you will have to decide to take the action. It is up to you. As long as you remain where you are, then you will be stuck where you are. If you're going to live out your place and purpose, then you will have to make the leap into your possibilities. So today's challenge is about preparing to take your leap. 1, think about your uniqueness. 2, embrace your possibilities. 3, focus on the little bits. Keep doing it. Know your possibilities and dare to live them out. You do have limits, but those limits are more than you could begin to imagine. So step out just a little bit at a time and then keep stepping. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Growing Hope. We are almost all the way through the book Place and Purpose, just in time for launching into your possibilities for 2020. Now, if you're looking for more ways to prepare for your new year, then check out the Whiteboard of World Domination system over at whiteboardofworlddomination.com. You can get 8 steps for mapping out your big dreams and living bold in 2020. And if you've missed any of the Place and Purpose episodes, you can get caught up by visiting harnessyourwhy.com and purchasing your copy of Place and Purpose. You are made to thrive. You are designed to live extraordinary and to be extraordinary. So make today the now for your first step into all that you're crafted to be. I am Kathryn Lang, your Rainbows and Lollipops host, because every day holds a promise of more, and every action contains the power of possibility. It is not about what the world says or even what the world shows. The strength of hope and encouragement will and does push through the limits and the walls of the world. My prayer is and always will be that the words I share are helping establish foundations of hope that will shatter the delusions of the world around us. Until next time, remember, be blessed and be a blessing.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Kathryn Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.kathrynlang.com to invite Kathryn to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.